Oh, welcome in to the regular season finale of Taking Sides. I'm your host, Sal Walsh. Find me on Twitter there at 14a.walsh. Joined alongside, as always, by Paulie Parlays. Find him there on the Twitter at Game Day Facts. And also make sure you're following the show at Taking_Sides. Um, as I mentioned, the regular season finale, and what a week that we had leading into this one. Obviously, the college football playoff was absolutely magnificent with both games there. We had a great Sunday slate of NFL, which we'll get to in a little bit. But of course, the big news of the week: Bill safety, Damar Hamlin, just with the major injury there on the Monday night game. Sort of uncharted waters here for the NFL and pretty much everybody in general, where the game winds up getting canceled there about midway through the first quarter. That obviously just a sad situation in general, but it does leave a lot of uncertainties now with the standings for the rest of the NFL season. And I think on Monday night, people like Skip Bayless were asking, hey, like, what's going on? Probably not the right time to be doing that. But now that we know Hamlin has woken up, he is doing much better. He made a quote or his remarkable comeback. So, again, they are going to play these games on Saturday and Sunday. So, we will go full steam ahead. And just like all these other teams in the NFL, including the Bills and the Bengals, which will have to get back on the field this Sunday and play, which, I'm sure is just going to be an insurmountable task after what they witnessed on the field just a couple of days ago. So, Paulie, welcome in. Let's review our. Well, do you have any thoughts on Hamlin or anything you want to talk about?
The best part of him coming to today was the story that the first thing he asked when he could communicate, he can't talk yet, but he wrote on paper, like, did we win or who won the game, which just says a lot. Like, I'm getting the willies down my spine just picturing that and thinking about it, where, look, that is an unprecedented situation. We're still dealing with it. We don't know what's going on with that game and how it will affect the playoffs. But I think we realize that, football, amazing entertainment, but it's just a game. And that man's life is important. And all the brethren of the NFL, they came together and they stopped the game. The NFL wanted to continue that game, which is absolutely nuts. But we'll have to see what ends up shaking out in the AFC with the Chiefs, the Bengals, and the Bills. It's amazing that two of the three teams that can get the one seed are involved in that game. And now it's going to affect the seeding for the playoffs.
So I know that there's been a number. Well, first of all, I had to think back to like all the different events that have occurred in sports like that. I guess the most recent one was the guy Kevin Ware from Louisville. Remember where his bone like popped right out of his skin?
That was in the Final Four, right?
I think the Elite Eight. I think it was to go to the.
But they were like the number one seed. That was Rick Pitino, right?
Yeah, and they were playing Duke that game, I believe.
Yeah.
That was probably the most recent thing like that of anything that happened.
They said that part of the reason that they were able to save DeMar was because of the soccer thing with Erickson that happened a couple. Yeah. I'm not into soccer. I just kind of read the history of it. That one of the like head NFL medicine guys happened to be at that game, saw the way it was handled so well. And then that became part of their process, where if that didn't occur, who knows where we'd be right now.
Yeah. Another one that I thought of, obviously, former Buffalo Sabres goalie Clint Malarchuk. He took a skate to the jugular in a game one time and just blood like absolutely pouring out of his neck. Yikes. So that was, that's another scary situation. I mean, it's sports. These guys are, big, fast, and strong. And right. I think the bigger and the faster that they get, obviously we're going to see some things like that. But this, this wasn't like a major collision. It was just sort of a basic play. Obviously, he gets up after he makes the play, then collapsed. I don't think it helped either that he hit his head so hard on the turf, afterwards, just falling back like that. I know he had his helmet on, which a lot of people alluded to, but man, just a really scary situation. Let's talk about some of what the league could do. in the situation. I've heard all sorts of theories, like, we could add an eighth team to both conferences. The one that came to my mind was the Friday Night Lights situation, where maybe they do a coin flip in that game to see who wins. I mean, we've seen it in recent years. I think just this last year in Division I AA for college football, there were two teams that were tied for the last playoff spot, and they decided it by a coin flip.
I can't see, like, come on.
I'm really not trying to be a jerk, but what if both teams find the best Madden player on each team, and then they start the game 7-3 Bengals, right? And then they play it out that way. I mean, there's all sorts of things
that's
that
amazing.
Can be done. But I don't know. What do you think in this instance? What should be done?
I think they should find a way to either play the game or consult the two teams. Let them decide. Look, we're playing this weekend anyway. These two teams are active this weekend. Those are two games that I can't figure out how to bet. Is it the we're distracted, bet against us, or go DeMar, we're going to dominate you? I can't decide. So I'm kind of just sitting on the sidelines, and I'll see what happens in those two games.
Yeah, I think both games obviously have their own unique situations, which of course we're going to get to here. But man, just what a time to be involved in this. How did the bets go for you last week?
NFL was great, but that was just to make back all of my losses from the college football playoff on Saturday. I had both favorites minus the point, so that says it all as to why I had a rough Saturday. But Sunday was great. I hit a couple parlays, hit a couple straight bets, ended up down like $50, which was an accomplishment because Saturday was really bad.
I gotcha. Saturday I did have Michigan with the points. I thought they were going to steamroll TCU.
Well, they should have. Look, if they were within the 5-yard line 3 times and came away with 3 points.
Absolutely.
Like they should have won that game.
Yeah.
Like they lost by margin. They should have won the game.
I did really well on Sunday though. Patriots money line there over the Dolphins. The Saints, which we talked about how weird a line that was, had them with the points. Took Seattle pretty big over the Jets. I can't be doing Mike White on the road. And then also had the under in the Steelers-Ravens game, which got a little dicey there at the end. But glad to see it close out the way. I was like, don't you dare take this game to overtime, because I know somebody's getting a pick six, taking it to the house. What's up to Jack Lee up there in the YouTube chat? How you doing there, Jack? Glad to see you tuning in tonight. Always appreciate that. So, I guess here we go, getting into the regular season finale of the NFL.
Dude, how is it week 18? I feel like we said that last week, but like how? Oh, what ended up happening? Speaking of the Monday night game, fantasy, did that have any effect with? I have a very weird situation in my home league. Can I lay it out real quick and you tell me what's right, wrong, or otherwise?
Sure.
Okay, finals going into the night. A team was 1% to win. He was done. Let's say he had like a $134, $136.
Okay.
Going against a team that has 127 points with Josh Allen and Tyler Bass. After the incident and it being 7-3 and the game getting called, the team that was 99% to win is down by 0.6. What's the right thing to do here? Who's the winner? How do you split up the money when it was clear that if the game was played out, the team with Allen and Bass was winning? They were 99% to win before the game. There is the unfortunate incident. Game has now been stopped. Who's the winner? What do you do? I need your opinion on this. It's like I'm in it, so I don't have an answer. You tell me.
So I'll bring my own situation into this. I was for the third place game, right? Which whatever, and the championship game, the guy clearly won. There was no coming back for the second place guy. But for the third place game, I was up about 8 points, and he had Josh Allen. I had Joe Mixon, and we're essentially how it came down to. I said, let's just split the money. Me and the guy who were playing for third place were really good friends. I said, listen, he's the more responsible one with the money. Give him the money, and then we're going to go out and get tacos and margaritas at some point soon. So That's how
That
I
doesn't
roll.
help me with my situation. But look, I have nothing to do with it. This is my league of my high school friends that I've known forever. I think it's very clear that the team with Josh Allen and Bass should be the winner, but they're not winning. They're down by 0.6 because of what happened.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that's that team probably would have won. That's just
Correct.
That's how it is.
My suggestion was let the team with Bass and Allen use the backup quarterback on his bench. Use those points instead of
Okay.
Josh Allen. He happened to have Jarrett Stidham, who scored 32
wow.
points. But that's
Yeah.
look, if it was like Derek Carr and he scored 22 points, it would probably have been okay. But that is like Stidham. Come on. And also the guy who is winning right now by 0.6, he's claiming victory, which is the other thing. It's like, come on, man, you can't do that.
I think you should. How are the two guys at fighting? Would they be open to a boxing match?
One is in Indiana, one's in New York. It would have to be a virtual fight.
Okay, those are tough. Maybe
they're
Greco-Roman
also
match.
in the group of friends, like in the 12 guys in the league. They're like opposite ends of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's funny how it worked out. Like, if it was me and a guy I was close with,
right?
I think what they're going to end up doing is splitting it, but that just makes me feel bad for the team that clearly would have won.
Yeah. In the Caesars League, the two guys just split the first place pot. So,
dude, that's the league that I've been dead since week 3. So, like, I lost Javonte, Trey Lance, and Tua weeks 1, 2, and 3. So I sold. I now have Kenny Pickett as a keeper next year. It's a 2-quarterback league. So cheap quarterbacks are how you gain an advantage. I'll probably start next season with Pickett, Tua, maybe Jordan Love, who I just stashed, maybe Sam Howell, who's getting a start this weekend. If neither of them end up being the starter, I'm going to keep Mike Williams, who I have for $10, which is a really cheap, good deal.
Hey, do you have a Chiefs jersey in the background?
No? Where? I do have a Chiefs jersey.
Our very dedicated fan this week, Jack Lee, was saying.
Wait, Jack, where do you see the Chiefs jersey? Is it in the picture? Is there like a picture that I can't see on YouTube?
In the PFP.
The Chiefs jersey that I own is a Larry Johnson, number 27.
I love Larry Johnson. Great political commentator.
Penn State great, Larry Johnson.
Oh yeah, political commentating great, Larry Johnson.
Is that real? Sure. I don't know if I don't know if you're joking or not.
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. He's great.
Wait, Larry Johnson, the running back, is now in politics?
Yeah.
I knew Herschel Walker was. Yeah, so the YouTube profile picture must be one of our old shows where I was just wearing the Chiefs jersey.
No, I think it's from when we went to the Mets game. You had the 83. I think it was Broncos jersey.
Oh, 83. That's a Broncos. Yeah, that's an old Broncos jersey. Yeah. Something Miller. He was an old receiver on the Broncos.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, listen, the Chiefs was definitely a good segue into
perfect
break down these games this week. So let's get into it. And again, lines are going to be different everywhere, but I'm just going to go with my employer Caesars this week for all the different lines. Let's get started here with the Chiefs, 9-point favorites heading into Sin City to face the Raiders. We got a total of 52.5 on this one. Money line, Chiefs minus 455, Raiders plus 345. Interesting to note, bets about 60% in favor of the Raiders. 95% of the money is on the Raiders. Now, keep in mind, this is on plus 9.5. I wonder here, did people like what they saw out of Jared Stidham? I think the Chiefs have a pretty good opportunity here to put up a good performance and, at least for the moment being, separate themselves there in the AFC standings because, we're not too sure what's going to happen here. But what are you feeling on this game?
The Chiefs are going to win. I just don't know by how much. So I got this line early in the week when it was 7 or 7.5. I bought it down to 6.5. So I have 2 plays on the Chiefs this week, and neither of them are at 9.5. I have them in a parlay as the first leg at minus 6.5, and I have them in a teaser as the first leg at minus 2.5, which I bet yesterday. So I teased it down from whatever, 9.5, down to 2.5. So I'm on the Chiefs this week, but not at 9.5. I'm on them at 6.5 and 2.5. They're in a situation against a division rival. I just trust Mahomes and Andy Reid to get it done, to essentially lock up the 1 seed, but we don't really know because of what's going on with the Bengals and the Bills. What say you?
Yeah, so I don't know if you remember, but earlier in the season, these two teams, they played on Monday Night Football. This one at Arrowhead Stadium. Raiders got out to a pretty decent lead in that one. Chiefs had a battle all the way back. And I think, you kind of just knew that the Chiefs are going to come back in that game because that's what they do. I think the Chiefs is probably the way to go in this one. I don't know, man. Like, to me, the Chiefs, they got this this situation where, everything is kind of up in the air with all the other AFC teams. But for them, it's pretty simple. Just win, take care of your business. And if everything lands the right way, they could very well be the number 1 seed. Obviously, Buffalo has a tiebreaker over them for the number 1 seed because they defeated them earlier in the regular season. Cincinnati also beat the Chiefs. So, again, that situation, what is with the records here? So if the Bengals,
isn't that crazy that the Chiefs have 3 losses and once the Bengals and once the Bills?
It is crazy.
I don't even know who the third one is, but if you're looking, you can tell me.
Jeez, I gotta see.
I'll look. You do the scenarios.
No, they lost to the Colts week 3.
How? Oh my! Like the Colts? The Colts are the worst team in football.
So pretty amazing for the Chiefs' losses this season. 3-point loss at Indy, a 4-point loss at home to the Bills, and then a 3-point loss on the road to the Bengals. So you ain't blowing these guys out, man.
They lost at the Colts in week 3. That's absurd.
That was such a janky game, though. Like, it was ridiculous. But yeah, listen, I think Chiefs take care of business. I usually like going the way of the money, but I can't get behind them this week, especially the Raiders. I feel like their come out end of the season game or whatever was last week against the 49ers. They did play their ass off in that one. And I think that's what a lot of people are seeing is that, they took probably the hottest team in the NFL right down to the wire in overtime. But I got to go with the Chiefs in this one.
Yeah, look, I think that the Chiefs are built well enough that even though what's going on with their biggest competition, they're just going to be focused, get the job done, that it's jumped 2-3 points, and it's not an injury thing. It's just technically, if you're saying all the bets are on the Raiders, is that fictional reverse line movement that we're seeing?
Could be. I don't know. I don't trust the Raiders with nothing to play for. Not in this one. All right. The other Saturday game, and by the way, I am taking Chiefs with the points, not some like janky 6.5 or anything like that. I'm going full steam.
Those are in my account. You can't remove them.
We're going to see the AFC South up for grabs down in Duval, where we got the Titans at the Jaguars. Jaguars 6.5-point favorites. Currently, we got a total listed at 40 on the money line. Jags minus 285, Titans plus 228. Joshua Dobbs has been named the starter for this game. Played pretty well there against Dallas, about as well as you can play. They did well in that Thursday night game against Dallas. And it is interesting to note that, with the change in the schedule on this one, Jaguars get a day less preparation, moving the game to Saturday. Meanwhile, Titans have been off, essentially since Friday. So that could play a part here. I'm going with the Titans with the points. Love to bring this up to 7, which is easily attainable. Not going to have to put too much money up to do that. But I think you're on the same side here as me with the Titans, right?
I think that there's value in the Titans plus the points. Josh Dobbs proved that he is a serviceable quarterback. That's why he's starting over Malik Willis. It's Wills or Willis? I always get this wrong. Malik Willis. Wait, like Kevin Willis, the basketball player?
Like
I think Willis? It's Wills without it. I think it's Wills. You'll look this up while I'm talking about it.
It's Willis.
It's Willis. Okay. Yeah. But Dobbs proved to be a more NFL ready quarterback. If Tannehill's in this game, I'm on the Titans all the way. The spread's probably also 3.
Tannehill's done for the year.
Right. No, I'm just being hypothetical.
Gotcha.
Where I get it, we're on a third string quarterback. I just think Mike Vrabel is great in these situations. However, I'll steal that from you, Al. You have a Super Bowl winning coach in Doug Peterson. You have Trevor Lawrence, who has been arguably the best quarterback in the NFL since week 10. And Travis Etienne is doing well. Josh Allen on the defensive end. The Jags are going to win this game. I just don't think they cover. So I like the Titans +6. I also have them as the second leg of that teaser I was talking about at +13.
What a season for the Titans. They lose their first 2 games, one at home against the Giants, and then getting absolutely trashed by the Bills on Monday Night Football there in week 2. Then they go on to win 7 of their next 8, and then they lose their next 6. Just what a season. What a season for these guys. But yeah, absolutely. I think that, Mike Vrabel, big part of this game. And how many times have we seen this last week of the season? We're going into, basically a winner take all situation. We think the one side is going to come up big and just absolutely blow them out. One thing I'll tell you, I think the 40-point total in this one speaks a lot, right? Like, I think that means that we're probably going to see just the very chippy, sort of low-scoring game in this one. And it's tough to go against the Jags because they look great. I know even last week we were kind of a little scared off because we didn't know what their situation was going to be, who they were going to play for how long or whatever. But it's a well-rounded roster, that's definitely going to go into this. Titans defense, though, man. I mean, this is a pretty respectable unit. They did very well against Dak and the Cowboys, pretty much all that they could do. They got put in some pretty tough situations there. But again, I just think with, the division on the line, you're going to get the Titans putting their best foot forward. Listen, it's not like the Jags have some schlub coaching on the other sideline either. I mean, Doug Peterson, one of the best in the business, especially turning the Jags, their franchise outlook around like this. As Jack Lee mentioned, Trevor Lawrence, dark horse for MVP. I mean, he's just been playing absolutely fantastic football here. But, this is just gonna be a great football game from a competitive perspective. I don't think we're gonna.
I think it's gonna be a gross game, to be totally honest.
Well, great competitively.
I think the Titans are gonna do everything they can to control the game script. They have to muddy up this game and just give the ball. If Derrick Henry's playing, right? We know that.
I would assume so.
Right. They're just gonna. It's gonna be gross. It's really gonna be a gross game. So I might take the Titans plus the points and the under, because that's the only way that if the Jags win and cover, can you see a way that the Titans win the game and the over hits?
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean, anything's possible.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
By the way, yes, Derrick Henry about 5 hours ago was removed from the injury report, so he is in for Saturday.
So look, yeah, Derrick Henry can wreck a game. Also, could you imagine if the Titans make the playoffs? Like, just think about that. That team with Josh Dobbs as the 4 seed. Who do they play? Who?
I think Baltimore or the Chargers.
So Baltimore or the Chargers would probably be a favorite at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Baltimore, I mean, Lamar Jackson, he comes back for the playoffs. I mean, he's probably going to be a bit rusty. So a lot to get into for sure. All right, let's get into the Sunday 1:00 window here. But obviously, let's start with some of the games here that actually mean something on the slate. Let's go from the top down. We'll go Patriots at the Bills. Bills 7-point favorites in this one with a total of 42.5. Bills -335 on the money line. Patriots +260. So this scenario is simple. If the Patriots win, they're in the playoffs. That's it. Of course, not going to be the easiest task going into Buffalo. And, of course, as we mentioned at the top, with everything going on with Damar Hamlin, how's that team going to come out and play this week after, witnessing what they witnessed on the field? I do like the Bills on this one. Looking at the splits here, you are getting a lot of money on the Patriots, a lot of bets too. So, of course, that makes me want to go the other way. but about 70% of the bets, 90% of the money heading towards the Patriots on this one. That is at plus 7.5. We, here at Caesars, we got the line at 7. So I'm going to go with the Bills. I think that they do have a pretty inspiring performance. As we mentioned, Hamlin, first thing he woke up, he asked if they won the game. I think that's got to be a big boost of confidence for this team. And I think they want to go out there and play well for their brother. This is big. This is big. And of course, a chance to knock the Patriots out of the playoffs would certainly be great. Now, I wonder too, because the Patriots really haven't given the Bills much trouble. I mean, I know they played this year on a Thursday. So we're going to get that. Jack just rolled something up here, which could be interesting. And I'll get to that in a second. But I just think that the Bills are just the far more superior team than the Patriots.
Is Jack's breaking news?
Oh, yeah. So just announced that the Bengals and Bills is a no contest and that the AFC Championship game can be played at a neutral site if Bills-Bengals versus Chiefs happen. Interesting. I got to check this out on Twitter now. I mean, I trust Jack. I just want to see.
No. That Schefter reported that earlier, like 9 hours ago. It's not official. It's not official yet.
I was working hard today. I missed a lot of stuff in the sports world today.
But it's possible that that's what happens.
Okay.
Or maybe it's real now. No, it might be real now. It is real now.
Wow.
Jack's right.
How dare you doubt Jack?
Ian Rappaport. That's real. NFL announces Bills-Bengals won't be resumed. Oh, my God. What's going on in my fantasy league then? I wonder, wait, does that mean none of the stats count? If it's a no contest, the stats get zeroed out.
Interesting. I wonder where I guess the game would be played in Detroit since that's kind of like a central hub for Kansas City.
I just don't see how you can do that. I don't see how you can do that to local fans. Like make them travel for the AFC Championship. Come on. That's just messed up.
Yeah. Wow. I love when the news breaks on the show. This just shows
good thing we have Jack Schefter as our our feed.
Will have no effect on which clubs qualify for the postseason.
Oh, that means the Jets are still eliminated.
Yeah, see it. As they should be.
So back to the game real quick. I have no idea what to do here because I don't know if the Bills are going to be hyped and ready to play for their brother or if they'll be distracted. So this is a game that I can't bet it. My heart says one thing. My mind says another. So this game and the Ravens-Bengals, I'm sitting on the sidelines. I hope the Bills win because that would be great for that organization, that team coming off what they went through on Monday night.
No, for sure. I cannot get behind. I mean, I know I took the Patriots money line last week, but they had no business. They had the pick 6 in that game, obviously, which turned things around. I mean, going into last week, they had lost 4 of their last 5 games, including one of those there against the Bills. Their only win was against a banged-up Cardinals team. They lost the one game there against the Raiders on that ridiculous lateral play. I can't.
Oh my God! I forgot about. Oh wow!
I cannot get behind this Patriots team right now. I mean, it's funny because I did last week, but thank God I took a money line because they didn't cover the spread.
I can't believe if they didn't do that, they'd already be in the playoffs.
Well, the game was still tied at that point. All right, game would have went to overtime.
But that was just like what's going on here.
Yeah, incredible. But no, listen, I do think that the Bills come out and have a big performance. I hate all this money on the Patriots right now. To me, it makes no sense. I mean, maybe a little bit of sense. I guess I can see where people are going, but I think the Bills come out fired up.
You know where they're going? They're going that the Bills are going to win by 3 or 4. That's where they're going. Like that's if there's money on the Pats, it's not money line money. It's we're going to cover money
for sure. Yeah, but I don't care. Bills by $1 billion.
Okay. You know what's going to happen, and it's going to be great. The Bills are going to win by 3 because that's DeMar Hamlin's number.
Interesting. I mean, I want to
cut that clip up, throw that on the internet. Let's go.
They should just win by 13, you know?
What does 13 have to do with anything?
Because that covers 7.
That does, but that's not 3.
All right. So in terms of the AFC standings, if the Patriots lose, that would mean that the Dolphins have to win their game on Sunday against the Jets. Dolphins are 2-point favorites at home against the Jets. Total at 38.5 on this one. Dolphins minus 135 on the money line. Jets plus 115 for them. Teddy Bridgewater hurt his hand in that game on Sunday. We had to have Thompson come in there for the Dolphins. I think the kid can play quarterback. He's not terrible. But again, I'm not a big fan of Mike White on the road. If you take a look at his stats over the course of his career, he's barely, exceeding 200 yards passing per game when he's starting on the road. Listen, Miami's not exactly the Lions' den. You're probably going to have a decent amount of Jets fans down there since all those New York transplants in Florida, especially in South Florida. But man, what do we do here, Paul? Because I think I liked the Jets earlier when they were favored, right? Like that showed me something like, oh my goodness. But now that the Dolphins are favored by 2, I feel like things are trending in the right direction.
The reason the Dolphins are now favored is because Mike White popped up on the injury report. He had a limited practice because of his ribs. That's what's swinging the money. So I have a Jets play money line when it was a pick'em when Mike White was fully healthy and playing. If Mike White doesn't play, that means we might see Joe Flacco or the CFL guy whose name I'm not going to pronounce properly.
Stringer.
Stronic. But if Mike White doesn't play, those guys are your quarterbacks. But that could be good for the Jets. Like their running game is what's good about them. Throw Garrett Wilson. Let's get some Wildcat. Just let the Jets defense win the game. I don't trust Skylar Thompson. If Teddy plays, then I have a different feeling. But it looks like Teddy's got a broken finger, I believe, on his throwing hand. So I don't think he's playing. Imagine if like a playoff spot comes down to Skylar Thompson against Joe Flacco, which could totally happen here.
The way it's looking.
I have a money line bet on the Jets, so I'm going to stick to that because it ain't coming out of my account.
Yeah, this is certainly going to be a tough one. And I do love that, the NFL did a good job here. All these games going to be at 1:00. The next one that we get to also there in the playoff picture. I mean, there's a real scenario where all 3 teams lose, that are up for that playoff spot, and the Patriots just take the final playoff spot by default.
Yeah, but that would be so anticlimactic, but it could happen.
And then you'd have the final seed in the AFC coming in with a losing record. Beautiful.
Hey, didn't the Giants make the playoffs at 6-10 once? Didn't that happen?
I think it was the Panthers that.
No, it was the NFC East. Somebody made the playoffs at 6-10.
Oh, Washington.
It wasn't the Giants. They were so bad that they had like 4 wins that year.
No, they did. And Tampa played them in the first round en route to the Super Bowl.
Who was the Washington quarterback then?
Wasn't it Heineke?
Oh, that was how he got his contract because he did so well.
So well.
I love that Jack noticed that we're sponsored by Burger King tonight.
And Red Solo Party Cup.
Yeah. Al told me we're going on. I said, where's the closest fast food place? Ended up Whopper, chicken Whopper. Isn't that the stupid song?
Yeah. I got to tell you, Burger King probably, like, in terms of fast food burgers, Burger King lives true to its name. They are the king of burgers.
So, yes, but I'll also, I like Wendy's burgers too. McDonald's, trash.
Agreed.
Wendy's or Burger King if I'm getting a burger, yes.
But, of course, the top fast food of all, Chick-fil-A.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Boston Market.
It's not fast food. It's good food fast.
I can't wait until Boston Market sponsors this show because we give them so many shout-outs.
They're going to be like, listen, we're closing down all locations, but before we do, we're going to sponsor you with
Taking Sides.
with
Brought to you by
this tray of mashed potatoes.
Boston Chicken. We'll go back to the old name.
Oh my goodness. All right, so that presents an interesting scenario for the Pittsburgh Steelers, not a Boston Market sponsorship. But if the Patriots and the Dolphins both lose and the Steelers come through with the big win of their own on Sunday against the Browns, that would land the Steelers in the playoffs. So interesting to note here, Steelers 2.5-point favorites only at home against the Browns. Steelers money line -145, Browns money line +122, with the total sitting at 40.5 on this one. Man, I got to tell you, this does not bode a ton of confidence for me. With the Steelers not even being a field goal favorite at home, you know my rule of 3. If you're not a home favorite at 3, there's definitely some trouble there. This feels like an absolute come and bring it here, bettors sort of play here. Man, I think the Browns might be the play here.
I'm on the other side. So this is our going to be an instant take aside.
All right.
I've had a read on the Steelers for weeks now, from when they were eliminated from the playoffs unless they won 5 straight, which they have since done. Tomlin, Pickett, that defense, it's TJ Watt. When TJ Watt is in, they win games. So, look, I get it. Watson looked nice with Amari Cooper last week, but this game is in Pittsburgh. I believe that the Steelers are going to rally around Mike Tomlin to keep his "I've never been under 500" credo alive. And this is really just pick a winner. It really, the 2.5 doesn't matter to me. I'll take the Steelers -2.5 because I get better odds. But this minute I lock that in, final score 19-17 Steelers.
Basically. One thing to note here that's very interesting, looking at the splits, bets and money, pretty much about 50-50. They are slightly in favor of the Steelers there. But looking at the splits on the money line, you got about 65% of the bets on the Steelers, while you're getting 80% of the money on the Browns money line for this one. So I think I gotta go with my old forte, and I gotta go Browns money line on Sunday.
Fair enough. We shall see. I've been saying for 5 weeks now that the Steelers and the Packers are going to get in the playoffs, and they're both alive.
You have said it, 2 cold weather teams that know what they're doing in these situations. So good on you.
Also,
man.
I feel isn't that who we'd rather see in
yes.
just to make the games better?
I mean, yes, that's who we'd rather see. However, the odds makers are telling us you might not get that, Paulie.
Okay. Just looking at the 14 teams that are logically going to be in the playoffs, am I out of my lane to say that the Bucks might have the longest odds to win the Super Bowl?
Man, now you're going to have me going and looking
I
at
know
that.
you're a Bucks fan, which is why I'm asking you.
Right.
They're going to be underdogs if they play the Cowboys. Who would you – the Bucks are going to be in the Packers, in the Steelers, in the Giants. They're all going to have the same sort of odds, which is insane because the Giants have a 0% chance of winning the Super Bowl. The Bucks have a 4% chance because of Tom Brady.
If the Giants get matched up there with the Vikings, which looks to be the case right now,
great, they'll win a game, but that doesn't matter. They're not winning the Super Bowl.
Never say never, Paulie.
I have a pretty good read on the Giants.
So I'm taking a look right now of the teams that are potentially in. It is the Giants with the longest odds.
Yeah.
At plus 6,000, Jaguars plus 5,000, Green Bay plus 3,500, Ravens plus 3,000, Vikings plus 2,800, and then you got Tampa Bay begins the long shots at plus 2,500. You got the Chargers, Vikings, Ravens all in a similar price over there. Just to clarify too, to go to the top, Chiefs odds right now plus 380, tied with the Bills, same there. Niners actually the favorite in the NFC right now, plus 500. Eagles plus 550. You got the Bengals at plus 800, and then the Cowboys at plus 1,000.
I'm literally trying to think where's the value there? Wait, what are the Eagles?
Plus 550.
And the Niners were what again?
plus 500.
Right. One of those teams is coming out of the NFC, unless it's the Packers.
That could be nice. That could be nice. Actually, the NFC has a little bit of tricky scenario too, which we'll get to. But yeah, it definitely says that we are on opposite sides here for the Browns and the Steelers. So let's duel, my friends. All right, so I think that does it for the meaningful games. I know Minnesota. I shouldn't say meaningful. Let's go Baltimore, Cincinnati, because that's a good one. Cincinnati 7-point favorite in this one. Total 40.5 here. Bengals minus 335 on the money line, while the Ravens are there at plus 260. Another one of these games. The Bengals look pretty good in the onset of that game there against the Bills. They were moving the ball with really no difficulty whatsoever. You wonder how that momentum obviously though carries over to this week. I mean, I'm just not impressed with the Ravens at all. They're just like the most boring team in the world with Snoop there at quarterback. Lamar Jackson gets back. I mean, listen, the blueprint's out on Lamar Jackson. Just blitz the ever-living shit out of him and let him make mistakes. So whatever the case is, I can't get behind the Ravens right now. Obviously, 7 points is a lot for the Bengals, but I think I do trust them in this spot. I mean, how many times have we come into these big Bengals games this season and been like, oh my God, maybe this is the week that they slip up? No, each and every week, man, the Bengals just come back with even more and more vigor. I think, there's this connotation that we usually have with teams that lose the Super Bowl, right? Like they just have these really bad seasons afterwards, and the Bengals have been anything but.
Joe Cool. That's why. He's
Joe Camel.
He's Tom Brady 2.0. They're the same. They're like Joe Burrow is more of an underdog story than Tom Brady, even though he was the number one pick in the draft, which is crazy to say. But like he wasn't starting because of Justin Fields and Dwayne Haskins. So he transfers to LSU, and then something just clicked. Thank you, Ed Orgeron, and thank you for Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson happening to be the receivers there.
Well, Joe Brady action too.
Yeah, so true, so true. I actually saw a clip. It was hysterical. So Brandon Marshall is interviewing Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and straight up asks Burrow in front of Jamar, who's better, Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase? And Burrow didn't know what to do and couldn't answer. And ultimately was like, well, Jamar's really good at these things, and Justin's really good at this. And Marshall goes, if you have the first pick in a draft, you're the quarterback. The two of them are there. Who do you pick? And Joe Burrow just looks Marshall in the eye and goes, I plead the fifth. It was really good. But just think about that those guys were who he was throwing to in college.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Justin Jefferson. What a disappointment for fantasy owners there in the
No, but we're okay. So we're going to do the Vikings game real quick after. He's 194 yards from breaking Calvin Johnson's single-season record. I don't care what his receiving prop is. I'm taking the over.
Yeah. I mean, listen, he's due. He's obviously due for all that. But, yeah, you are correct. But that doesn't do fantasy owners any good.
Well, if your league did something funky and you're still playing this week because of what happened with the Bills and the Bengals, then it does.
I guess. You can't be playing fantasy championships in week 18. Come on now.
Well, yes, you can.
I mean,
and
you
here
can.
We are.
Theoretically, you can, but all right, yeah. So let's get to So again, it doesn't look like Lamar Jackson's going to play. It looks like it will be Snoop there for the Ravens, which makes me love the Bengals.
Agreed.
So, all right. And then the Vikings 7.5-point favorites at Chicago this week. I don't think Justin Fields is playing. Over 43 is the total in this one. Vikings minus 350 on the money line. Bears plus 275 in this one. As you mentioned, I mean, man, Viking. I really wanted to take the Packers in that game on Sunday. Just so much shit going around. Wasn't really feeling well that day either, so didn't have my head screwed on 100% that day. But man, what a performance by the Packers, and just what an absolute dud by the Vikings. Vikings do need a good performance here before the playoffs to get themselves in rhythm. So I do like them -7. I'd like to bring it down to 6. Maybe I'll parlay that with an easy winner or something like that. But just in order to take some of the shady odds out of that. But what do you like in here besides the Justin Jefferson prop?
Vikings money line, because I think they're going to win the game, but I don't think they cover. So, but who knows? So that's why let's just keep it simple. This is one of the legs of the 5-leg parlay that I have. Just Vikings win the game, where I have Jets money line, Vikings money line, Chiefs -6.5, Seattle in the 4 o'clock, and what's the last leg? I can't even remember. Oh no. 1, 2, Vikings money line, Jets money line, Chiefs -6.5, Seahawks money line. I got it. Sorry.
Hey, listen, it's live radio. Everyone understands.
That I can't. What's the last leg? Oh, it's a gross one. It's absolutely gross. That's why I couldn't remember it. Texans +3.5.
Okay.
Because look, the Texans are going to try to lose the game, but I think the Colts are so bad that if anything, the Colts win by 3.
Okay.
But that game is like for reverse number 1 pick. Texans Colts. That's just gross.
Yeah, I just want to confirm here too. Justin Fields not playing on Sunday.
Correct.
So he will finish with the second most rushing yards by a quarterback in a single season behind the aforementioned Lamar Jackson. And he finishes above Michael Vick's 2006 season.
Oh, you're looking at it? Because that was going to be my trivia question. Who was the quarterback that they both passed?
Michael Vick.
Great job.
Yeah.
Was that was Falcons Vick, not Eagles Vick?
Correct. I think that was his last Falcons season.
That was Falcons with Warwick Dunn?
Perhaps.
Was he on that team at that point?
Buccaneer great. Warwick Dunn.
Mike Allstott, another Buccaneer great.
Favorite NFL player.
I know. That's why I brought him up.
Great guy.
Have you met Allstott, or you're just saying that?
No. I told you. Allstott used to live in my neighborhood when I lived in Tampa, and I'd see him at the Publix all the time. I wonder if I probably met him like 4 or 5 times in there, but and if you're wondering why I was in Publix so much, it was right across the street from my house, and they make the greatest subs of all time, the chicken finger sub from Publix. It's just phenomenal. But no, I wonder if I saw him again, I'd be like, "Hey, Mike, it's me." He'd be like, "I don't know, bro. I see so many people."
He'd be like, "You're the guy with the chicken sandwiches at Publix.
You're the chicken finger sub guy." But you can say that about anybody who's in Publix because everybody knows.
I have never been to a Publix in my life.
You know what? After AC, we're going down to Florida. And we're going to Publix.
What's the Wawa?
Wawa's great.
I tried that when I was in Ocean City, and I ate there every day. I'd never been to a Wawa because they're not in the Northeast.
That's right. Well, they're in like my neck of the woods,
okay.
But I guess they don't make it out to the island.
Correct. They don't. So, but we do have Jersey Mike subs, which is kind of funny because we're in New York. So I tried Wawa the day I get out there. I was there every day eating a sandwich because I loved them so much.
And you probably loved it. You could hit on the touchscreen what you wanted on your sandwich.
I walked there from the beach every day. It was one day I ate there twice. It was lunch and then late night.
Attaboy.
Kept Wawa in business that weekend.
All right. So the rest of the 1 o'clock slate is pretty grotesque. You did so there was one game that I like and then one that you like. So go with the one that you like first.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Jets, Vikings, Steelers. I teased the Falcons against your Bucks.
No, you said you liked the Texans.
Yeah, but it's a numbers play more than anything because I took it and the number's gone now. It's 2.5 now. It was 3.5. So I took it so that it's a viable option that I knew wasn't going to stick, which is honestly a dumb reason to make a bet. But I saw the number and I'm like, this number is going to go away. I don't think any team should be an underdog against the Colts, but the Texans are going to try to lose the game to keep the number 1 pick. So it's one of those conundrums where are they going to try? Are they going to half try? Davis, Mills, and Driscoll are going to keep switching off. They're doing that because it makes them worse. That's the only way that you can theoretically tank without tanking. You don't let a quarterback get a rhythm. You do exactly what they're doing, but we could be in the boat where Lovie Smith is just a better coach than Jeff Saturday in what is likely his last game as an NFL head coach.
Yeah, it started out so promising, and then not so much.
Did it really, or was it just that Josh McDaniels is trash?
Well, they got a very exciting win that week. That's where I'm going with that.
Who was the quarterback? Oh, right, he brought Matt Ryan back.
So you are correct, right? So if the Texans win and the Bears lose, Bears would get the number 1 pick,
and the Bears are gonna lose that game.
Yep. Yeah, they're playing for it, man. Oh my goodness.
And then imagine if the Bears have the first pick, they're gonna stick with Fields, or do you trade Fields for a ransom and you draft Bryce Young?
This brings me back to a couple seasons ago, but remember when the Jets won those two meaningless games at the end of the year, including
it was one game.
Or not, there was 2.
It was one game against the Browns. All they needed to do was lose that game, and then Trevor Lawrence would be a Jet.
Well, remember, they won at the Rams, right? And it was 2 games that they won late in the season.
So that was Adam Gase's last game, and he was leaving. It's like how do you do that? Where now you see that the Jags are in the playoffs, are an up and coming team, and you have Zach Wilson.
Yeah, man, what could have been? That was probably Gase just sticking it to Woody and the boys. He's
like, "Hey, we're gonna win a game. Bye.
I'm gonna coach my best 2 games in my entire NFL career." Unbelievable.
It's nuts if you really think back to that. Because then the 3rd pick was Trey Lance, and we don't know what he is.
Yeah, I like Trey Lance though, especially with the Niners. I think that's a great fit.
Yeah, agreed. I wonder what they're gonna do. My guess is, look, if Brock Purdy wins a Super Bowl, different story. But my guess is that they have Lance and Purdy compete for the job next year, and Jimmy is where's Jimmy G next year?
Probably the Jets.
Oh, that's gross. I'd rather have Derek Carr.
Listen, I'd rather a toilet seat made out of gold, but it's just not in the cards, baby.
That's so good.
No, oh my goodness. All right, so the last 1 o'clock game that I want to talk about. Number 1, as a Bucs fan, I'm very excited to possibly see Kyle Trask play for the Bucs this weekend because it's pretty likely that he could be the quarterback next season. So I'd love to see that. And listen, Blaine Gabbert's no pushover either. So I wouldn't mind seeing the 2 of them duke it out. If they don't, I doubt that they're going to do anything in free agency or make a huge splash in the draft. So you're kind of stuck with those 2 guys next year, I'm assuming. But the one game that I do like that has absolutely no implications, I do like the Saints over the Panthers this week. And reason that I do, Panthers got their hearts absolutely ripped out last week. It looked like they were going to win that game there against the Bucs. Brady goes into Turbo Tom mode, and then it's just all over for them. I would love to bring this down to a field goal, -2.5, something like that for the Saints. But I just think that this is a game where, at the Superdome, the regular season finale, maybe a little something for the fans, get them excited for next year. I think that, they come out with a pretty big performance. And listen, you got to give it up to the Panthers, though, right? They finished out the year with some pretty big wins. They're running the football like crazy. I know it's going to be hard to do against the Saints, but, yeah, I think the Saints close out the season strong here.
I was going to go a little Backstreet Boys there and say, tell me why, but you just did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm more of an NSYNC guy anyway.
I always was because back in
big JT guy.
Well, back in the day, people used to think I looked like him, so I played it up. It was awesome.
Wow.
Wait, you don't know this?
Who thought that?
Everyone.
Did they?
I swear to God. Why would I make that up? In high school.
I can give you a million reasons why you make that up.
Not made up, real. That was what I got every which way. My hairline was here. The hair was out there. So I just played it up, and I was into NSYNC also. But I think musically talented, like if you look at the boy bands, I love that we're on boy bands now. Justin and JC are arguably like 1 and 2. And then the Backstreet Boys had the next 5. And then you have the other NSYNC guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I'm amazed that JC never had a solo career because he was great. And then he came out with that weird album, Schizophrenic, when Justin did Justified. Justin took off, and JC's like, I'm going to start hosting singing contests.
Listen, I only had room for one boy band guy that I could follow, and it had to be JT.
What's your favorite NSYNC song?
All right.
Or you just go in JT solo stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a big Cry Me a River guy. Love that song.
Great song. He can just thank Timberland for everything that Timberlake did.
Pretty much. I get What Goes Around Comes Around, a good one.
Yep.
Right? Like anytime you're trying to put a bitch on blast, one of those, you just hit play and then
there
boom.
You go.
That's it.
And then you bring Sexy back.
Oh yeah. Big Sexy back guy.
Yeah, man. I know what we're listening to on the drive to Atlantic City now.
Avril Lavigne. Woo!
What? Why'd you have to go and make things so complicated?
It's going to be a great trip.
Just the car ride. I don't even need to go and hang out. Just being in a car with you for 3 hours.
Listen.
Let's do a live show from the car.
So I found out there's going to be a girl that I know from Bayonne who's going to be down in AC that same weekend, probably staying at Harrah's. And then I told the Philly Godfather too, come join us down there for one of the days. We'll watch the games and shit. So we might be rolling pretty deep down in AC.
Yeah, we just got to figure out. We'll do this off air. We got to figure out where we're going to stay, and we'll be gambling at one of your Caesars sports books.
Yeah, actually.
Oh, that's not a thing.
Well, I'm sure I can. I just can't win like $8 million.
No, don't just. But you can gamble with other. You just can't gamble with yours, right?
Correct.
So that's easy. Just download an app.
Oh, I thought you meant like tables and all that shit.
No, I'm saying like we could be sitting in a Caesar sportsbook and you can be using a BetMGM sportsbook app.
Well, I'm not going to use BetMGM, but definitely.
Well, use whoever gives you the most bonus bets. That's the answer. Who gives you the free stuff?
I usually go with DraftKings because if I want to move the line to a whole point, I can, but I can't do that on FanDuel. So
got it.
All right. Let's do 4:00 because we got plenty to get to in this one. Let's start it out with the number 1 seed in the NFC, the Philadelphia Eagles. They'll be hosting the New York Giants. Eagles 14-point favorites in this one, -900 on the money line. Giants +600 there. Total sitting at 43 on this one. You're probably going to know this answer better than I will, but Giant, I forget. I don't know if they actually said they were playing their starters or this and that. I think it's the absolute dumbest move in the world if those starters touch the field for 1 second. They shouldn't even touch the field for warmups. Keep them all in the locker room. Dress your practice squad guys if you have to. But this is a game where Philly needs to get right. I'm with my man Jack Lee on this one. I'm going with the Eagles big on Sunday.
I don't know what the Giants are going to do. I agree that they should just let. Is Tyrod Taylor still the backup? Is he still there? It's really great that Daniel Jones has been so good that I've forgotten who the backup quarterback is. I'm pretty sure it's Tyrod Taylor. But the other way that you have to think about this, we talked earlier, the Giants aren't winning anything this year. So why not just let your guys play against the number 1 seed and see how you do? This is a team that whipped your butts earlier this season. Maybe even play a half and just show them that you can compete with them. But I'm with you, Al. I look, I wrote this game down and I wrote Cards 49ers down. I just wrote down 14 plus points. No bet. because who knows what's going on in these games. This is like a great team versus a good enough team to make the playoffs. Same thing in the Niners Cards. I mean, the Cards are not, you know what I mean? That's a great team versus trash. But I don't think the Giants should play their players if that's the case. I think Hurts plays and they cover the 14.
Yeah, it also gives me great pleasure to announce that literally everybody and their mother is on the Giants this week with all the points, 80% of the bets and the money heading towards the Giants' favor in this one. I mean, come on, you can't be serious with this. I just don't think that there's any logical explanation. I know you say, yeah, keep the guys in check, blah, blah, blah. No, you got a guy like Saquon Barkley who's had a ton of injuries over the course of his career. You sit him on Sunday. Daniel Jones, make sure he's healthy because he's going to be running for his life against whoever they play. Make sure these guys are in bubble wrap on Sunday. Don't touch the field. Don't touch a football. Don't even touch a pylon cone. Nothing. Just stay away from the field at all costs. Let the backups handle this, and then you go into your playoff matchup fully rested, ready to go, energized, ba-boom. That's it. That's all. I don't want to see any any starter on the field. And then don't get me started with the defensive players, right? Boy, Thibodeau doing snow angels on fucking dead corpses and shit. Like, no playing for you. Just stay the hell away. And I think that's what the line indicates, is that these guys aren't going to play.
That's fair. We shall see. But I'm with you. They should rest the guys and just let's take a shot and try to beat the Vikings if that's who we play.
Indeed. All right, we'll take it to the number 2 seed then. We've got the San Francisco 49ers, also 14-point favorites at home. They'll be hosting the Arizona Cardinals in this one. In terms of the total, we got 40.5. Money line's huge for the Niners. I think they're the biggest favorite this week, minus 1,100. Cardinals plus 700. Same sort of situation. Niners need this one. I know that they didn't play their greatest defensive game last week against the Raiders, but the offense still rocking and rolling. I mean, listen, I don't think it matters who plays quarterback for the 49ers. Just get the football to these skill players, let them do their thing. And here's the interesting thing, though. I think that if you're scoreboard watching in this one, you're probably going to see that the Eagles are going to be up handily on the Giants. So if you're the 49ers, possibly the second half, you take the foot off the gas. And that's where I might see, the Cardinals slip in there on that plus 14. But, I mean, it's certainly not my favorite bet of the week.
If you can tell me who's starting at quarterback for the Cardinals, I can give you an opinion on this. But don't
Are you familiar with the work of David Blow?
There you go. That's all I wanted to hear. Now that I've heard it, I'll still take the Niners minus 14.
Fair enough. I really don't have an opinion on this one. The playoff scenario for the 49ers is if the Eagles lose and the 49ers win, the Niners would jump into the number 1 seed.
Yep.
But it's not. I just don't see that happening.
The Cowboys, who we can do that game next, they're still live for the NFC East.
Indeed. Perfect segue. 7-point favorites of the Cowboys at Washington this week, minus 320 on the money line. Commanders plus 250 in that one. Total sitting at 41.5. The scenario for this one, of course, is if the Eagles lose and the Cowboys win. And so here's the deal, right? Let's just say the Eagles lose. The Cowboys would need the Niners to also lose, and then the Cowboys win to get the 1 seed. But if the Eagles lose and the Niners win, then the Cowboys would go to the 2 seed. Either way, I don't see the Eagles losing this week. So this could be another game that, winds up not having too much going on there. When we get to the second half, I think a lot of people are going to, see that scoreboard and just know that the Eagles are dominating that one. I think that there's an interesting path to go with the Commanders in this one. They've really slipped up here at the end of the year. Although, I guess Carson Wentz probably still going to be in a quarterback this week, which no?
Heineke and Sam Howell.
Okay. Oh my God. They got Howell.
Sam Howell's starting, which I love.
That's right. I actually saw a tweet with Howell. It didn't say that he was starting.
I believe he's starting.
They just showed a picture of Sam Howell and said, "Who is this and what does he do?" And it was just like, Sam Howell with like a super puffy face, looking like he drank all night and ate at Wawa 3 times.
I love it.
So.
I just want to see what Sam Howell is. I think that they should have played him instead of Heineke. The reason that they played Heineke is because they gave him a stupid big contract. But I think Sam Howell is, a potential future starter there. You got to see what he is, even though it's one game against a good Cowboys defense. But the Cowboys need to show up also. Like that defense isn't what it's been recently. A few weeks earlier, we were talking about the Cowboys defense being arguably the best defense in the NFL this year. And it's like, nah, they're really not. They're pretty good. But the Cowboys have something to play for. I think this number's right. If it's 7, I think the Cowboys win by 7. And that's just kind of where we're at. I'm rooting for the Commanders here because I don't want the Cowboys to have a chance to win the division because I do have a future on the Eagles to win the NFC East, which I thought would be over 3 weeks ago, and it's still not.
Yeah. Oh my God. That brings me back to horrors of last year when I had the Cardinals to win the NFC West as the true underdog of that division. They start 7-0 and the Rams come all the way back and take the division. My goodness. Those futures, they'll get you. Yeah, I mean, I think that there is an interesting path to Washington. Maybe, I think a lot of these 4:00 games, they're pretty interesting live bets, once we see what's going on with Philly. And then, if you're sitting there watching the games and everything, like it could be, it could be an interesting live betting situation. But as of right now, there's just so much that's unknown. It's funny. It's like we've got the AFC 1:00, NFC 4:00. Should be fun. Okay. Here's one. I don't know how we didn't lead off with this, but maybe not lead off, but Rams at Seahawks. Seahawks minus 6 6-point favorites in this one. Minus 267 on the money line. Rams plus 215. Total sitting at 41.5. This is actually one of the few games this week that's expected to have some rain or just inclement weather in the forecast. So that could come into play. I got to tell you, kind of like the Rams as underdogs here. Baker Mayfield will end the season out on a good note, maybe ruin the Seahawks playoff chances. Now, the Seahawks playoff scenario is an interesting one because it's theoretically they could win and still not make the playoffs. They do have the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Lions based on their Week 4 win in Detroit. That was just an insane game. Seahawks walked away with the 45-42 win in that one. But if the Seahawks win and the Packers win, then Seahawks are bumped out of that spot. So wondering who you like here. You joining the Rams with me?
Take a side. We're taking a side. I'm on Seattle here. I told you earlier. I have them money line. But I didn't tell you if I have them with the spread, but I do now. This is the last leg of the 5-leg parlay that I have. I took the money line there, but I'll take them minus 6.5 as well. The difference maker for Geno Smith is Tyler Lockett, and he is back. So that is seemingly Geno's comfort zone. He was a different quarterback the couple weeks that Lockett was banged up and out. Now that he's back, Geno is again the co-favorite for comeback player of the year, even though he didn't come back from anything, which is really bothering me because I still have Christian McCaffrey at 7-1 to win that award. They're now the co-favorites at plus 280 both ways. But I like the Seahawks here to win the game, but not make the playoffs because I think the Packers are going to win out and ultimately take that 7 seed.
I can't wait to get to the Packer game. Our boy Jack is ready. He's fired up for this one. But yeah, I mean, I guess it gives me a little bit of trepidation seeing that the line has gone up to 6.5 in some spots. You're getting a lot of bets and pretty much all the money heading towards the Rams this weekend. But I just feel like this would be a great Baker Mayfield stick it to the man sort of game. So you ain't getting me off that one.
That's fine. And then the last 4:00 game, I'm so confused. Are the Chargers not playing anyone or is someone messing with me?
I don't think so. I mean, based on the line, you would think so, right? Like
I tried to look it up. I couldn't find anything. My guess is that the Chargers are just playing all backups, but then I still like them money line because Russell Wilson and the Broncos are horrible. So I'm not really sure what's going on here, but I probably won't actually bet the game.
So here's the scenario, right? So the Ravens, well, the Chargers are in the 5th seed right now in the AFC. They have the tiebreaker right now over the Ravens based on win percentage in conference games. So they can, see the result of that Bengals Ravens game and then sort of make their decision on what they want to do. Because if the Ravens lose, it doesn't matter what the Chargers do at all, right? Like they'll still be in that same spot, even if they lose anyway. So I can see it from that perspective. But you're right, you and Jack are right. The Broncos just suck. They suck.
And the Chargers backup quarterback is Moneybags Chase Daniel.
Chase Daniel with Easton Stick as the 3rd string.
Love it. So Chase Daniel's a good quarterback. We've only seen him play like 6 career games, but he's made over $100 million in his career. Pretty amazing.
I love that Easton Stick's parents were such big hockey fans that he became a football player. That's amazing to me.
Wait, is that why his name is Easton?
That's the only logical explanation.
No, but I used to use an Easton bat.
Yeah, but Easton Sticks were like, I had plenty of Easton Sticks growing up.
He didn't come up with his last name.
I know, but the parent, like, he could have been Bill Stick, whatever, right? Like, it's
Bill Stick.
It's clear that they were hockey fans.
Why?
Or because Easton Sticks were a thing.
Okay.
Or they
I wonder what his middle name is.
Bauer Stick, Coho Stick, Sherwood Stick. I don't, whatever, man. I'm trying to think of the old brands.
Yep. I hope his middle
Stick.
Yeah.
Wow.
What stick did the Minnesota Miracle Man Gordon Bombay use?
Man, that was an old time. Like, he probably had some like Sherwood, I'm thinking.
Nice.
Yeah. Like the Sherwood all-piece 1 stick.
Jans Hans Pfeffer and Eggs made his stick in the store.
And then Wolf Danson blew it all up.
Yep. That was in the second one. That was Mighty Ducks too.
What a dick, though.
The original Mighty Ducks. What was the other coach? I forget what his name was.
Wasn't it his father?
No, it was the guy who played the lawyer in My Cousin Vinny.
Right. But I think in the movie, it was.
No, it wasn't his dad. It was his old coach. It was the same coach that he had when he was a kid.
Although you can see if Gordon Bombay didn't have a father, you could see it because he was just such a wild child. You could see that there was no guidance.
No, that's what happened. His dad passed away.
Yeah. Well, listen, I got to remember this stuff, right? I got
Coach,
football.
Coach Klein?
I got football on the mind. We're talking boy bands, Wawa, Boston Market. We got a whole lot going on here. All right, Sunday night. Paulie loves it. It's the Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers. Packers only 4.5-point favorites in this one. Minus 220 on the money line. Plus 180 for the Lions. And we've got a Zoftic total of 49 points in this one. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the highest total of the week. Sure is, buddy. No. Chiefs Raiders is the highest. Well, we'll just say the highest total of Sunday. So
bookends. First game, last game.
That's a very good point. All right, so I know that you like the Packers in this one. Just tell me why so we can get it out of the way.
No, well, here's what I love about this. I have a Packers ticket, 45-1 to win the NFC.
Right.
I think that hedging is a waste here. But do I take the Lions plus 4.5 and hope the Packers win by 3 or 4? So then I win both.
It's very possible. I could also see a scenario where the Lions go up early in this one and then the Packers come roaring back because that's just that's been the type of season that it's been for them.
If you were me and you had the Packers at 45-1 to win about $1,000, would you start hedging or would you say, okay, whatever, if I lose, I lose? Or would you at least cover the original Packers bet? What would you do if you're in my shoes here?
I'm hedging. No. I am not hedging. I think you leave that Packers bet alone on its own because, of course, they can make it in as a 3-point winner. And then it's very possible, too, they go into the playoffs with the wrong matchup, possibly against like the Niners or something, and just get their hole blown out in the first game.
So you think the play is take Lions plus 4.5 for $25?
I mean, more than $25. You are getting a lot of bets on the Lions here. So I think, it's feasible where you can bring that down to 3 for the Packers.
See, the Packers are winning that game. It's just a question of how much they win by.
I don't know, man. You're getting a lot of splits here. So, and by the way, Jack said he was a Packers fan and he's going with the Lions in this one. So
I thought Jack was a Chiefs fan.
No, he was just wondering what color the jersey was or whatever, or which jersey it was. But here's what's interesting on the betting splits, right? Bets right around 50-50, and then you got 87% of the money on the Lions at plus 4.5. Then we take it to the money line. 74% of the bets on the Packers money line there, 75% of the money on the Lions in that one. The markets have spoken, my friend. Wow.
What are they saying?
That's saying Lions big time.
Okay. I'm sitting pretty either way.
But here's what's crazy though, right? Is that if Seattle wins, we know that Detroit is just they're toast.
Correct.
Right? So
but Dan Campbell has already said it doesn't matter. We still hate the Packers. We're still going to try.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I absolutely would do the same thing, right? Like you're not going to just mail it in at that point. But you would think that has like a negative feeling on you, right? Like just before you hit the field, you know that you're eliminated from the playoffs. But this Lions team is a bunch of sick bastards, and they can pull out all the stops in this one. They did beat them earlier this season.
Also, Jamal Williams' revenge game.
That's true. So I think I got my bets locked in for the week. How about you?
They're already there. I bet I've made them already, and we'll see what I do come Sunday night. If I'm going to throw a little bit on the Lions or what I'm going to do.
Paul, the next time we talk, we're going to be talking about playoff football.
That's amazing and insane.
The next time we talk on this show, on this platform, we will be discussing playoff football.
We'll also be discussing our travel plans.
I can't wait. Can you believe I made it through the show with just one drink tonight?
I'm proud of you. That's good. Can you believe I made it through the show with just a little Diet Coke?
That is amazing. That's fabulous. Yeah. Wow. What a journey it's been throughout the regular season. And I know as soon as we get off the horn here, we're going to make those travel plans. Be down in AC. So if you guys are in the area, make sure you holler at us. 14A.Walsh on Twitter for me, at Game Day Facts for Paulie over there. Holler at us. Let us know if you're going to be in the area. We'll join up there in Atlantic City and paint the town red or green. How about that?
I'll pick green.
Green. Love it, baby. All right. That's going to do it for me and Paul this evening and for the regular season. It's for me, Paul, and the rest of the unit. See you later. Thanks for watching, Jack. Peace.